Once you control your entire finances, honestly, guys, everything starts changing. But the thing is, so many people try to do different things all at the same time. Just like fitness, if you go into the gym and you try to pick up a 100 kg weight, will you be able to do it right away? No, most likely not. You might actually hurt yourself doing it, and it will affect your confidence. And that's the thing, even with your finances, that when you're trying to actually level up and get a hold and control by the horns of your finances, you need to build some sort of a confidence that, hey, I can do it at a smaller scale so I can continue building continuously. It's a progress in motion. It does not happen overnight, and you cannot expect it to happen overnight. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Adiba Ahmed. I talk about leveling up in terms of your money, wealth, life, and health, because life is for living, and that's what we're here for, friends. I'm going to go into my 3-tier system, which is going to help you guys to actually get a hold of your finances at a foundational level. The 3-tier system is going to be in your mindset, your accounts, and your activity. Let's first get into the mindset. You're going to hear me say a lot of threes because everything I do is in a 3x system, because I find that it's easier to remember things in threes than anything more. Maybe that's why we celebrate top threes around the world for anything that is being done in terms of competition level. There must be something behind the number 3. The first mental hack, 3-day wait period. What does this mean? When you want to purchase something, sometimes you're scrolling and you just look at things and you're like, oh, I want to buy this. Or you see something that's being advertised on TikTok or Instagram. You're like, oh, I'm going to go buy it. But the thing is, most likely, if you give it some time, you might not actually want to buy it, because in that time you have this adrenaline rush. It pushes you to want to purchase, but you really don't need it. So this 3-day wait system is, let's say you see something today and you're like, I'm going to go buy it. Add it to cart. Do whatever you want. Add it to cart. But don't actually buy it until 3 days from now. If 3 days from now you actually remember you wanted to buy that, that means it's something you would actually use and you find it useful, that the thought process came back again. But most of the time what's going to actually happen, guys, is after the 3 days, you're not going to actually end up buying it, because you're actually going to forget about it. Because in that moment, that's what marketing is. In that moment, you felt the high, and their goal with those kind of videos is so you purchase it right away. They want a quick turnaround time with those kind of videos. They do a great job at it. I've been a victim of it, and hence why I created a 3-day wait period. And that can help you as well in terms of creating a mental reflex to give your purchase system a better oomph and a better discipline. The next part of the 3-tier mental hack is 3x purchase power. When you're trying to buy something, can you buy 3 of it and still have money left over? A lot of times you might have 2x the money, but not a lot of times at 3x. And I'm not talking about homes and such. In homes also, you should have money left over after a down payment, which a lot of people don't do for some reason. I've seen my clients sometimes want to cash out everything for a down payment. You don't want to do that. But back to the point, 3x. So let's say you want to purchase something that's $200. You want to make sure at least you have $600. This is for people who just have a really bad spending habit and your default is almost to 0. Now, if you're already at a better spending habit and you have an emergency fund, you should still use the 3x rule within your check-ins account. So if your check-ins account, if you want to spend $1,000, should always have $3,000 already in it, because you know that you can buy 3 of those right now. This is just, again, a starter system to create a better control over your finances and build on top of that. And the last part of your mental hack in the 3-tier system is make sure you do 3 months review. We can call that a quarterly review. Every business, every corporation does this. You're going to do this because your life to you is your corporation. Your finances to you is your business. You need to be able to track it. So every 3 months, you're going to review everything, no matter how bad you feel. The first time is the hardest, and over time it becomes easier. And sometimes you're doing great and you might fall off, and that's okay. You get back on. The goal is to be sporadically consistent than not doing anything at all. I always say that sporadic consistency triumphs no action at all. So every 3 months you just want to review, and you make that a habit so you can always pivot, because sometimes life is seasonal. Things can go up, things can go down. You want to be in a position where it's well maintained. Even when things are going bad, in the 3 months review, because you're taking that action, you're just going to feel so much better and feel in control, because awareness creates ability to measure. And I always say, what you don't measure gets missed. And if you continuously miss, you'll continuously fall and fall really hard. And we don't want to do that. These are all preventative measures. These are the 3 mental hacks to start out as soon as you can. Out of these 3 mental hacks, I want you to just choose one and implement. Out of these 3 mental hacks, I want you to take at least one of them, because I want you to take action right away. Write it down, put it in your notes app that I'm going to do this going forward, and try your best. The goal is always try your best. Every day your best will look different. Just try your best. Let's talk about a 3-tier system for bank accounts. This is a very simple way to allocate funds in the easiest format for you to be able to distribute according to your goals, and not making it so complicated. So in the 3-tier banking system, you have one account that is just purely for your emergency fund. Now within that emergency fund, you're looking at putting anywhere from 3 to 6 months of your basic expenses aside. I recommend minimum 3 months, because again, I told you 3 is a magic number. Try to do the 3. So let's say your monthly expenses are $2,000 a month. Then you want to make sure that emergency funds has $6,000 accumulated in there, and anything beyond that could be invested. That's just to start off your foundational emergency funds. The second tier in the banking system is going to be an account that's your sinking fund. Usually, this will be another separate account within the same bank you have, or you can choose a separate bank where you have your checkings and another separate bank where you have all your savings, or it could all be on the same place. But you have that one account where you're putting your sinking fund amounts. Now, what is a sinking fund? Sinking fund is usually a fund where you're allocating money over time towards a certain goal. So let's say you want to buy this gorgeous purse that you love and it's $2,000. Over 4 months, you save $500, $500, $500, and another $500 in that sinking fund. And now you have $2,000. This way, you're not going into your credit to buy that $2K right now. You're not going into your debit where you're not using another rule, which I mentioned, which is being able to buy it 3x times at least. You're able to save up for it, so it doesn't hinder your budgeting goals. It stays within it, and it doesn't hinder your credit or any other future goals that you might have. Sinking funds are great for larger purchases that you can just save towards in an incremental way. I always say minimum 3 months. 3 is the magic number. 3 months of saving up to it, or 3 increments. So it could either be 3 bi-weekly pays that you use. So 500 from one pay, 500 from another, 500 from another. It could be any amount. It could even be $100 saving every bi-weekly paycheck. But please at least do 3 sectional payments to save up for it at minimum. If you can do more, hallelujah. Let's say it's a trip. This is great. The sinking funds are great for a trip. Let's say your trip is going to cost you $4,000. That's what you looked at everything. And you can save up every year a certain amount, 4,000 divided by 12. And that's what you save every single month. So you can travel every single year without breaking your budget. Third one is making sure you have another account where you're investing for the future. You see, emergency fund is for almost immediate rainy day fund, just in case. Sinking fund is for your midterm goals, close to you, not so far away, for your purchase and in maybe investing needs. And finally, it is investing. This is where you want to do more long-term, more per se retirement, but I would say somewhere you're looking at more than 10 years at least. So this is your investing fund where you purely just invest into the market or so. This is not your emergency fund. You don't go in here on a rainy day. This is not your purchase fund where you go in there for a travel expense. This is your future investing fund where you actually put in money on a monthly basis. It could be as small as $10. It doesn't matter. You just start somewhere. That's the goal. Something is better than zero. Let's say you have clothing in a closet. Of course, you have maybe one drawer just for your undergarments. You might have one drawer just for your pants. You have one drawer just for your clothes. This 3-tier banking system is having drawers for your different financial needs. This way, you are just so much more organized and you are more disciplined. And ultimately, you are in more control. Let's talk about the 3-tier card system. This is where you have different cards for different aspects, but we're just going to be sectioning into 3 pieces so it's easy and creates a better discipline. You always want First is a credit card with points. If currently you have a credit card with no points at all of any reward system, you need to switch it. Every bank will allow you to actually switch within its bank because every bank actually has a reward system credit card. So right now, if you have something that doesn't have any kind of cashback or travel points, you can actually convert it. You just can't convert from bank to bank. You could just convert it internally within the same bank to another credit product as long as it's within a certain limit. Please ask, you can actually get it done. You're going to have to differentiate whether you want cashback or travel points. It depends on how you like to live your life. You can determine that, but either or just needs something. So you want a credit card with rewards in the first part of the tier system. In the second part, you actually want some sort of a MasterCard that almost acts like a debit card in 4 places that don't take credit, but still gives you a cashback. Because a lot of MasterCards now with online banks that don't really have kiosks, but they're very good online banks, you can actually get MasterCards that act as debit cards, but they actually have cashback for just keeping money in their check-ins account. A lot of these online banks, because they don't have kiosks, they're able to expend more in giving back to their customers. Just make sure all these banks are backed up by your regulatory body. In Canada, it's CDIC, and US, it's this. I don't remember what it's called. I'll just put it here. So you just want to make sure they're just backed. Get a MasterCard that has a cashback to it. And the beautiful thing with MasterCard is you can use it a lot of different places too without having to worry if you don't want to use your credit card all the time. Not everywhere would I always recommend using credit card. I can make a different video on that. With all these cards, you actually want to even have different bank accounts, like one with a credit card, one with a MasterCard, and then you're going to have income where all your income comes in. So in the third tier of this system, you have an income account, means all your income comes in here and later you disperse it into different bank accounts and so on. Because nowadays a lot of banking have automated systems where you can send money from one bank to the other. As long as it's yours, you can do automated recurring e-transfers. This is just going to help you have more differentiation. You can, just like I said before, let's say emergency fund, you're saving $250. You send $250 from your income account into the bank that has your emergency fund there. So it's always there and you're not worrying about it. You can send in your MasterCard we just talked about, your debit account, your expenses for the month. So that is your budget to use for the month. It's almost like you pay yourself an entire paycheck in that income account and that income account pays you for everything else. This way, you're more disciplined and you automate everything for your budget without you having to track it all the time. Every week, you don't have to do that. And creating a 3 banking system in 3 banks builds a relationship. So when you want to access lending from these banks, they see you have a relationship. So it's a win-win scenario. And my goal is that you get more out of this and take action right off the video. I want you to take one thing. I don't need you to do everything. Just one thing right after this video and implement, because implementation of action triumphs multitude of knowledge any day, because progress is fun. And that's what we do here. The goal with any discipline is creating confidence and keeping the promises you make to yourself. So your goal here today is, out of all of this, just take one note, one thing that you're going to do. And hey, put it in the comment. What's something you'd love to implement that I've said or already have been doing, and now you're going to add an extra layer of implementation, because we always want to get better and build more muscle to the strength of pulling your money. So till next time, These Nation out.